It would be an understatement to say Pedro Pascal is popular online right now. He's been a working actor for a long time, and in that long career, he's died quite a bit. And so I thought it would be fun to go in and rank the deaths that Pedro Pascal has had in movies and TV. We're going to go all the way back to 1999 for his first death, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's a guy named Eddie who's super nice, and it may be awful if something were to happen. Oh, he's been kidnapped by vampires and killed off screen. That's F tier if I've ever seen one. It doesn't get much better for him, though, once he does come back to life. He kind of jumps out at Sarah Michelle Gellar and just kind of does a little bit of a, that vampire fight tango, and then is instantly killed. So bye, Eddie. I'll give him a D tier. It's not great, but it's not off screen, really. So, yeah. And then it's a while until he died again, not till 2011 when he is on Law and Order SVU. He plays a federal agent who is involved indirectly in the murder of a woman. He gave a gun to this guy who he shouldn't have, and then the guy shot somebody. And he's not great, and so he gets caught and he's in jail. But then the daughter of the lady who got killed shows up, and she just wastes everybody in the cell. Now, Pedro Pascal's first one to get shot. He just kind of falls out. He isn't that important really to the story. Like at this point, he's not the emotional core. He's going to be a D tier on this one. It's really not memorable. The show doesn't care about him, so why should we? Next up, we're going to go to a TV show called Graceland, which I honestly had never heard of. He plays another federal agent. They're always cleaning him up. Like, look how smooth his face is. I'm just like, give me grizzled, Pedro, please. This one is another pretty bad one. He is just like in a struggle with a guy who thinks that he's somebody else, and he accidentally gets shot. These kind of fights in movies, I think, are always a bummer. He gets driven off and buried in the sand, and I'm sure there's a lot of drama involved in this for all the characters who are still around, but I don't know who they are, and just this moment itself is pretty low. That's an F tier. Next up in 2013, Pedro was in the TV show called Nikita, and in this one, he's playing some contract killer named Liam. It feels like they're always just trying to make him white. But anyway, he ends up in like a standoff with Nikita, and the other guy is standing on the other side of a door, and he shoots him through the door, which is, okay. It's not nearly as bad as some of the other ones we've been seeing so far. But the moment is ruined by this joke that happens in the control room.
Now that was some choreography.
I'm not going to hold that against the death itself. I'm going to put the death in C tier, but woo, that's rough. This scene is rough. Then we're going to get to 2014 when Pedro was on Game of Thrones. A long story short, he's trying to get revenge against this guy called the Mountain who killed his sister and like her kids and everything. And so he's fighting him, and he's also like Tyrion is involved. So, Peter Dinklage is like, please win so that way I don't get executed. And he's like, yeah, we got no problem. And so he's using his spear, and he's like poking him, and he's got poison on his spear, and he's like, yeah, we got him. And he's winning. You're like, he won. This is great. But he is getting cocky, and he's like, you got to confess, blah, blah. And his feet get knocked out from underneath him. One punch knocks out like all of his teeth, and then his head gets, watermeloned. It's very visceral. It is, very upsetting to see. As far as TV deaths go, this is up there. Like in a show where people getting killed was like, hey, this happens all the time. This one is like one of the worst ones in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to give this one S tier. The next year, Pedro makes his way to the big screen, well, kind of, to a movie at least, with a movie called Blood-Sucking Bastards. Hey, this movie's a metaphor for working a 9-to-5 office job. But imagine your boss is a vampire. He is the bad guy. He's a vampire. And he gets in a fight, and he gets chopped in the head with a paper cutter, and then also gets stabbed in the chest with a piece of wood. And then he explodes into a bunch of blood. You'd think in listening to the description it would be a pretty fun thing to see, but it's actually kind of bad. So I'll give it a C because I like the idea, but the delivery on it is not great. In 2017, we find Mr. Pascal in the movie Kingsman, The Golden Circle. And in this one, he plays an American agent who's teaming up with like the British spies and everything. And it turns out, spoilers, he's bad. Doing that, he double crosses the two main characters and they have this cool fight scene. The death itself is, I think, pretty cool. It's pretty messed up. He gets like power bombed into a meat grinder. This guy's a heartthrob now and he's just mutilated left and right. And I don't know, I just think that's kind of funny. I think he's so great in interviews and everything. He's like the most charismatic, like nice guy. And like he just gets destroyed in all these movies. And then the last one we're going to talk about is in 2018. It's right the year before The Mandalorian came out. He starred in the movie The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington. And guess what? He's the bad guy again. His name is Dave. I don't know. I guess he plays a guy named Joel now, so it's not that different, but I don't know. Just Dave is such a fun. And so Dave used to work with Denzel Washington's character, and they were on a team and they would kill people, but then he's killed the wrong guy, killed a friend of Denzel Washington. So now Denzel Washington's like, I'm going to murder all y'all. And so he's killing everybody. Dave is sniping Denzel Washington, and eventually Denzel Washington ends up on top where he's getting sniped from, and he does like this crazy knife kill on him and then kicks him off this tower, slams onto the rocks below. I'm just like, holy cow, that was so much overkill. This one is an A, I think, just because it's not as high as some of those other ones. Like, there's no meat grinder, but dang, he does it like hit hard. So yeah, those are all of the deaths of Pedro Pascal. I think that his early career like was pretty boring. I don't blame him for that, obviously. It was because he was like dying on TV. Once he moved to HBO, though, things escalated crazy fast. And since then, it's been pretty enjoyable. Keep being awesome, Pedro Pascal. We love it. If you can think of another actor you'd want me to go through and rank all of their deaths, please let me know in the comments below. This was pretty fun for me to do. So yeah, see you next time.